The Intrepid commander hooked me up.
Dream, survive, thrive. This is Changing Earth News.
Alrighty.
Wow.
I know, right? I did the video, but he did that audio for me. It's so awesome. Okay, so Changing Earth News. October was a crazy month, looking back. And I've been really watching the volcano numbers. And we came down a little bit. So that's a good, like 1, I think. It's down from 104 to 103. But we've been walking the other direction for so long that it's just incredible. So let's just get into it. October 1st through November 2nd, well, we've been having a really severe drought in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Impact was 30% crop yields, 30% less in the crop yields. That's $2 billion in agriculture losses. Pretty big deal. The Colorado River was down 25%, which was affecting about 40 million people on water rationing. So, it's not an endless supply of water, and it's definitely feeling it this year. Hurricane Raphael, the Atlantic went nutso, just decided to wake up and just go crazy. Hurricane Raphael came in, hit the Eastern Caribbean to the Bahamas, specific flooding in Guadalupe. It came in as a Cat 3. There was 18 deaths from the storm, which was significantly more. I saw way more press about Melissa coming in. That was a severe storm. But, praise the Lord, no deaths out of Melissa, which came in just a few days ago. And it was a Cat 5 over Jamaica. So I think they're just, they know what to do with their hurricanes. So when Raphael came in, 500,000 people were evacuated, $2.5 billion in damages. Just insane numbers. 15,000 homes destroyed by that storm. So, you're looking at probably $100,000, $200,000 a house, and you start multiplying that by 15,000. That's a lot of money going out. October 4th, we had an X1 solar flare. There was some radio blackouts across America's Atlantic. GPS was affected due to that storm. But we've had a lot of really big solar activity on the backside of the sun. And it is just now starting to turn around. Plus, we have all this new activity. If you guys haven't watched what's going on in the sun before, now is a good time to start paying attention. It looks like it's going to be a really active week as far as our solar activity goes. No strange storms. We had like this strange storm a few weeks ago. Maybe it was last month now, where it was just up for like no reason. We couldn't really figure out why the solar storms were up so bad when we didn't really have the CME activity coming off the sun. Nothing like that going on. Usually I don't specifically talk about specific volcanic eruptions unless it has a big impact, because we have so many going off all the time. It's hard to keep up. But these are the worst names, by the way. This is Mexico. So Popocatépetl. No, it's like Popocatépetl. Because I've heard the word so much, but when you look at to read it, I'm like, no. But ash plumes, 15 kilometers in the air, 5,000 people were evacuated in that. It contaminated water for 100,000 people around Mexico City. So that's a big event. When I saw the water contamination, I was like, ugh, that's something we definitely need to heads up on, because if you're in an area around something like that, you need to be aware that can happen. You got to have your extra water storage at that point. You have a heightened risk. Rain-induced floods and landslides in southern Mexico, Hidalgo. A torrential rain killed 66 people, 75 missing, 100,000 plus homes were flooded off of that. 191 municipalities went into disaster. An estimated 1 billion plus in damage. So that was another one of those huge, massive rainstorms that we've just been getting that just come in and absolutely pummel an area. So there it is again. Lone Pine Fire in the Sierra Nevadas of California. 25,000 acres went up in that. It was started from lightning. Unfortunately, 4 firefighters lost their lives in that incident. So you hate to see that when that happened. I mean, we don't want to lose any life, but to see the men and the brave people, the women that are out there fighting fires, lose their life lose their life as well is crazy. So we don't want to see that happening. 150 structures destroyed, 10,000 people evacuated, 300 million in damages. I mean, again, when you see all those structures destroyed, they're not all homes. But you just have like 10 homes and multiply that by 500,000 and you're looking at a lot in damages. 7.4 earthquake hit offshore of the Philippines, but it caused 45 deaths, 12,000 plus injuries, and 500 million in damages. Another 6.8 hit right after that, caused 12 more deaths, and it just compounded the damage from that first earthquake. Also destroyed more bridges, roads, infrastructures at that point, water disruptions for 50 million plus. Another big, I go off the Great Quake in my books, and that's another big problem that we'd have to deal with is all of our water lines and whatnot being broken by an event like that. And this is perfect evidence of when our Earth decides to get nasty, what that looks like. We had a tornado outbreak in the Midwest. Sorry, I'm down here in Texas. I didn't even hear about this, which I'm really disappointed about. I guess I don't watch a lot of the actual news. But I didn't even see this on like the channels I do watch as far as weather goes. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, they had 14 deaths, 300 plus injuries, 50 tornadoes touched down. Strongest was an EF4 at 165 miles an hour near the Chicago suburbs. So just crazy that would touch down, that we'd have that many come through. 5,000 homes that were damaged and took down power for 1 million. Merapi, we had a volcanic eruption there, pyroclastic flows that were 12-kilometer ash columns. 28 people unfortunately lost their lives from that one. Severe storm with hail outbreak and golf ball size, massive 80-mile-an-hour winds in Central Europe. That'd be Germany, Poland, and Czech that got it. 3 people unfortunately lost their lives in that incident. 500 injuries, 2 million power outages, 1,000 homes damaged, and 400 million due to loss of crops and roofs. The Averos fire, 40,000 acres. That one took place in Greece, Turkey. Unfortunately, they're thinking that one was started nefariously. It caused 2 deaths, 5,000 evacuated, 200 homes, businesses lost, 150 million in damage. There was an X2.5 that happened on October 20th. This the one that, no, another big one's coming. That one we did okay. Starlink actually lost communication from that hit. That's one thing about Starlink. The satellites do sit in an area that are vulnerable to the solar radiation. Hurricane Tomas came through. Another hurricane. 12 deaths in Mexico. 1.8 billion from 150-mile-an-hour wind. 200,000 people were displaced in Mexico City, so they've just been getting hammered down there. Earthquake, 4.6 in Alaska. Alaska started rattling with some big quakes. They actually shut down school for a little bit in Anchorage, but everything was okay. Then there was massive flooding in central Vietnam. They are calling it the worst flood in 1,000 years. So like I'm always saying, here we go. We got the decade storms. We got
100 year.
Right? You can't have the 1,000 year every year. So they got hit really hard there. 35 deaths from that incident. 5 people were missing. That only happened, that happened today, actually, November 2nd. So they're still very much in the throngs of dealing with this situation. 16,000 homes flooded. 5,300 hectares, not acres. So acres is going to be double. What was it? 2.3 or 4
Yeah, something like
acres.
that.
Yeah, to every hectare. So, you're looking at 10,000 acres plus that were destroyed due to this incident for crops. 40,000 livestock lost in the estimation, with 150 plus landslides going on. So that's definitely eyes on that situation. It'll be unfolding as we push forward into the week here. 6.0 earthquake happened today in Turkey. Minor damages, 3 injuries, no death toll from that one. And then, geez, I'm just jumping all around, aren't I?
It's like me with my slideshow.
Right? Oh, it's because the flooding on that incident tracked from October 25th to November 2nd. The Vietnam flooding. October 27th, 6.8 earthquake in Guadalupe, 2 deaths, 150 people injured, 30,000 power outages due to that incident. And then Valerie hurricane came in, 32 deaths from that one, hit Nicaragua and Guatemala on that incident, 800 million in damages. Another 1,000-year flood happening. Floods just burying villages and crops, 1.5 million in damage. Melissa came through right about that same time, hit Jamaica, Cuba. They are not reporting a death toll out of that incident, which is really impressive. They get hit with those storms a lot, so I have to believe that they're prepared and know, even though their structures might be going down, how to stay safe, because they lost a lot of trees and a lot of structures. Another tornado outbreak happened on October 28th, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. This one went right around me. It wasn't too bad, but we did have a tornado touchdown not within a stone's throw from our house. But our house, it was like really calm here. But it was an EF1 that touched down right around the corner pretty much. 9 deaths from these tornadoes that came through, 200 injuries. 30 tornadoes were confirmed touchdown. EF3 was the biggest with 150 mile an hour winds. There was 600 million in damages. 2,000 vehicles, homes wrecked in total. So big storm that came in. Etna erupted in Sicily. They've been making a lot of noise. Not a huge incident. The reason why it did make the list is because so many of the flights had to be shut down. So there was a major travel disruption at that time. 5.4 earthquake hit Anchorage again. As Anchorage is getting hit and hit. 50 homes were damaged, cracked walls, that kind of thing. The Pindos wildfire came through northwestern Greece. 15,000 acres burned in that one. There was 1 person killed, 2,000 evacuated, 50 structures razed, and 80 million in damages. Then the 9.9 solar incident that came through. This one I paid attention to. It was only an M9.9, which is, it's not like an X class or anything like that. But there was minor transformer issues in Japan's grids causing $5 million in damages. Just from,
Minor.
Right? Minor. So this thing get really expensive really fast. And it shows you how weak our magnetic shielding is. That this little, this is a small one. M9.9. We're not even up into, it was near X, but we're not there. So very interesting that it caused that damage there in Japan. Then there was an early season nor'easter that came through in northeastern U.S., New York and New England. Already getting cold and blustery up there. Unfortunately, 6 people lost their lives. This was due to hypothermia or traffic accidents. 20,000 people were stranded. 500,000 power outages. Highways were closed for 300 miles, and it caused $250 million in damage. So just one storm, boom. I'm in the insurance industry, so I always talk about this, but how does insurance keep up with this stuff? I just don't. Right? Like endless funding. And then, it sucks to pay our insurance premiums, but If your house is gone, you want it covered, right? So, gosh, I just see both sides. It's just so rough. I don't know how that industry is going to keep up if we keep having this type of activity on our planet. Yeah, it's just crazy. 4.4 earthquake in Ethiopia. Just light shaking. Fortunately, no lives were lost in that incident. 4.5 off the coast of Japan. It's just really the ring of fire still rocking and rolling. There was flooding in Kenya. 21 plus deaths from that incident. 30 plus people are still missing. This is just crazy monsoon time for them. So that's when they get a lot of this really crazy rain that's coming through. And then they're talking about severe drought that's still happening in the Horn of Africa. And then September earthquakes. We were actually backed off a little in September. It was kind of a lull. Like I say, the solar energy kind of went down a little bit. So we're at 18,472 earthquakes for the month of September. October kicked it up a little bit to 21,488. I went back and checked August, and we were sitting around like 20,000 in August. So we're kind of riding that same line. I don't see any significant upticks or decreases in that. And then, like I say, it's been a long time since I've looked at the volcano records and seen them actually decreasing in the amount of eruptions. No major eruptions going on right now. We have 44 volcanoes actively erupting, which is still a very high number. 36 that are showing minor activity, 23 showing unrest, for a total of 103 making noise on our planet. And it was really in that minor activity where we saw the decrease in the numbers from the weeks past. So there you go, a fast run through of the Changing Earth news. Stay tuned because I think it's going to be really interesting. I think November's, I don't know. Whenever solar energy upticks, then the unrest upticks, and with the stuff we have going on with SNAP and all that stuff, I'm just situational awareness has to be top priority for everybody this month. Making sure you're shored up, making sure you're going to the store at smart times, making sure you have a battle buddy to go to the store. If you are older, it might not hurt to just do, I hate the online ordering. I like going out into the community, supporting my community and whatnot. But, if you're older and you don't have a battle buddy to go to the store with and whatnot, I might consider just ordering in any kind of groceries that are like a necessity right now. Just kind of hanging out. All right. It's just got to be done. Yeah. All righty, guys. We're out of here. Until next time, remember, dream,
survive,
thrive.
Thank you for listening to the Changing Earth podcast. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a comment or a review. Help make the Changing Earth world go around by purchasing the Changing Earth novel series at Amazon.com or get your signed copies at ChangingEarthSeries.com. Get your Changing Earth gear and become a paid subscriber for extra goodies at ChangingEarthSeries.com.